more and more intensified. Otherwise, it will be lukewarm. I have been praying, I have been doing Ram Nam, I have been attending bhajans, I have been hearing a lot of discourses. In whatever way I can lead a righteous life, simple life, I have been leading. But still, I don't feel that I am nearing you. Please show me some path, throw light on this and lead me from where I am to where I should be. So this is what for the past 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, 11th, 13th, 11th and 12th, 14th and 15th. 11th is was started now, 12th is started.
11th.
Yesterday was 15th, today is 16th.
11th started.
So yesterday also we talked, day before yesterday also we talked, Monday also we talked. So let us be clear about the question. You all remember?
Yes, Swami.
So the question again, let us print it in a big bold letter and see it again and again. How to become one with you? How to become one with you? So then we were reading, again we will read the same thing today. And when we come to this jnana and bhakti, somebody has raised. You are also trying to understand the indwelling reality, the combination of bhakti and jnana. He says, I am unclear from a daily practical application how jnana is related to bhakti. So we will come to that. So now we go back to the question again. How to become one with him is the heart's cry of a yearning devotee or sadhaka. At some point or the other while traversing the spiritual path. Spiritual preceptors keep on reminding us that even to aspire for this oneness, divine grace is necessary. So through this inner urge to move towards him, the bhakta can reckon that God is preparing him or her to connect with him totally. Initially, this cry may come once in a way, It may not get intensified because of he made us to preoccupy our mind with so many other priorities and preferences. So again, it gets diluted. Again, at sober moments when we think more deeply or attend a satsang or something, again it gets triggered. This is why we have to see for ourselves. One couple from Hyderabad used to come. Many couples are coming from many places, but this particular couple we remember because the wife and husband, she will immediately, as soon as everything is over, she will say, how to become one with you. Not in the lighter vein. Even when her husband telephones, she will immediately say, I am here, and the first thing she will say, how to become one with you. That is, then we are reminded, Papa is reminding us through them, hey, look here, whatever you are doing it is all meant for getting an answer. That is why we are being reminded through devotees. So this has to be there, just like the smoke pipe which we were all using when we were cooking with the firewood. every now and then, otherwise it is likely to get extinguished. In the oven, no? We put firewood to cook, to heat water. So when we light it and put the firewood, after some time when we go for something else, it is likely to get extinguished. Again you take a smoke pipe and do this. So it gets again, no, it is kept aflame. Similarly, we were blessed to know that God is within us, and God, ultimately it is our idea, our aim should be to become aware of His presence always. And it gets triggered. But suddenly you will find God who makes our priorities get shifted to something else. It gets diluted, though it is there in the subconscious state. At a given moment, he tries to see, like arranging another devotee to ask this question. We should not take it as anything that has happened casually. It is God who is now leading us through satsang, through the devotees. By raising certain question, it is not the individual that is raising the question. It is not the individual that are raising the point. It is he who is raising the point for the benefit of all of us together, to get ourselves more and more committed to in getting an answer for this. Is that clear?
Yes, Swami, yes, Swami. Yes, Swami.
So whenever any one of us get this, question or any point, we should know that it is not the individual in us that is raising this point. This is how he slowly takes us. So that is why it is said that how to become one with him. This is the heart's cry of a yearning devotee. At some point or the other, while traversing the spiritual path, spiritual preceptors keep on reminding us that even to aspire for this, dustbins here, even to aspire Papa's words, the first thing necessary is keen aspiration to realize God. This aspiration will make you constantly remember Him, because where your love is, there your heart is. So if you really desire to realize God, you cannot but remember Him. By such constant remembrance and aspiration, your heart will be purified and your devotion to truth will become one-pointed. It is much easier for a poor man to tune his mind. Okay. The path is simple, straight and easy. Remember the beloved with all the love of your heart. That instant you are filled with joy. There will be no strain, no pain, no struggle. As you seek Him, so does He seek you in the shine of your heart. God is after us, no? He wants to take us to Himself and grant us the highest beatitude. But we try to escape from Him, even as a dirt-covered child runs away from its mother who wants to bathe it. We are trying to run away from the Divine Mother who wants to purify us and give us the highest bliss. We like playing with the toys of the world, ignoring her call. Seek not to find peace and freedom in the external circumstance of life. True freedom and happiness is an inner state which you acquire when you are in tune with God who dwells within you. Let the knocks you get in life turn you more and more towards God. Aspiration, no? Papa, we remembered this because our spiritual preceptors keep on reminding us that even to aspire for this oneness, divine grace is necessary. So Papa says, our mind turns towards God only by His grace. It is His grace that makes us yearn for Him. Same word. Grace is self-revealing. When grace comes to us, our heart becomes perfectly pure. and we overflow with love for, we shall have no ill feeling towards anybody. We shall experience a rare joy. So our mind turned towards God only by His grace. It is His grace that makes us yearn for Him. So yearning of a devotee. Spiritual preceptors keep on reminding us that even to aspire for this oneness, divine grace is necessary. It is not necessary. We have to change that word now. Divine is there. Only because of divine grace, the spiritual preceptors keep on reminding us that even the very aspiration takes place only because of His grace. So through this inner urge to move towards Him, we take it, no? That God is preparing us to connect with Him totally. He said, Papa says, He is after us. He is after us. That is why so many things are going. Again, he puts back at 3:30 to this question again. So beloved Papa says that although we are ever one with Him, we feel a sense of separation from Him. And therefore the prompting to become one with Him, and therefore, resulting in getting the prompting to become one with Him. Papa says that although we are ever one with Him, we feel a sense of separation from Him. And in an implied way, He gives us the motive to become one with Him. It is not very clear. That is why again and again we are thinking about it, no? At this juncture, based upon the satsangs we have been blessed with, He provides with us. The revelation comes to us that the individual aspires to become one with the spirit within. Sorry. We intellectually understand that without the spirit, the individual cannot exist. Without the individual, the spirit cannot become expressive. So both are interconnected and valid. Sadhakas may have tried so many ways to get an answer to this oft-repeated fundamental question of becoming one with Him. But still the feeling continues. The question remains unanswered. The feeling continues what? The question remains unanswered. In spite of being blessed with some fleeting experience of His presence in different ways, the question still remains unanswered. Now those sadhakas who feel the urgency can intensify the efforts to become one with Him either through the Vichara Marga, path of knowledge, or through Bhakti Marga, path of devotion, or through a combination of both. Now those sadhakas who feel the urgency would try their best to intensify the efforts to become one with Him either through the Vichara Marga or through the Bhakti Marga. Now on Bhakti and Jnana says, Bhakti denotes the elevation of the heart toward the great reality through purified emotion or love. Jnana is the awakening of the intellect to the consciousness of the indwelling truth through discrimination and dissociation. Bhakti denotes the elevation of the heart. Head and heart we say, So heart. Heart is the seat of all feelings, love, devotion. So Bhakti denotes the elevation of the heart toward the great reality. Now the mind is, preoccupied with the love for all sense objects outside. When it gets elevated towards Bhagavan, the great reality. Then it is called bhakti. Whereas jnana is the awakening of the intellect, head, to the consciousness of the indwelling truth. The head is working because of that, but the head does not know that. The intellect is becoming active only because of the presence of this power, the spirit, the Atman, but it is not aware. So through jnana path, it is made known of the indwelling through discrimination and dissociation. Dissociation with the sense objects, discrimination between the perishable, non-perishable, permanent, impermanent. It's through an intellectual exercise we go. So we should be very clear about this. Jnana, the knowledge of Atman, liberates the bound soul from the vicious circle of birth and death and grants him unchanging eternal bliss and peace. It is then the higher bhakti, which is termed parabhakti, dawns in him. This is the summit of God realization. With jnana as the background, the devotee beholds the entire manifested universe as the supreme image of his beloved Lord. All creatures, beings and things in the universe are looked upon by him as the very forms of his Lord. He feels and sees the Lord's presence everywhere. His sense of duality has completely vanished. Elsewhere he says how the combination takes place and what is its outcome. Bhakti is the root. So we start the spiritual journey with bhakti, devotion. And for that we have to withdraw our senses from the sense objects. So Vairagya is the trunk. And jnana is the flower. And parabhakti is the fruit. In parabhakti, Purusha, Prakriti are realized as one, becoming one with him, So when he makes us to get this question, how to become one with him, can we not interpret that how to reach parabhakti? And parabhakti is the ultimate. This is the summit of God realization. Jnana, it is inferred that through the path of knowledge, the indwelling Lord first makes the devotee equip the intellect with all that is necessary to pursue the path. Shankara's various works, Atma Bodh, Tattva Bodh, Vivek Chudamani. If you go to Vivek Chudamani, in the 47, in the slokas, 7 questions are put by the disciple to the Guru. Konama bandhu katamesha agavaha. From where did I come? What is this bondage? Katam bhavishyasya katam vimokshaha. Kosavanatma paramatma. Who is this Lord? Who is me? Who is this non-self and the self? So 7 questions he asked. It's all the path of knowledge. These fundamental questions. He goes to a guru and asks these questions. So it is inferred the indwelling Lord first makes the devotee equip the intellect with all that is necessary to pursue the path. The devotee makes use of the thought for achieving the goal. Because that is the only vehicle we have. That is the only vehicle that we have to have. to understand, to communicate with others, to gain knowledge, right from our childhood. If we have moved from LKG to UKG, UKG to first standard to 10th standard, 10th standard to higher studies, all these things. The main tool that has helped us to guide us is the thought. So we apply the same thought for this also. It is natural. The devotee makes use of the thought, which is the only vehicle for achieving the goal. There lies the problem. No doubt, initially thoughts do play a crucial role, but not throughout. In our studies also, it is not merely the thought. Think about it. Assimilation and absorption, that process, can we define it as thought? Think. It is an exercise which we cannot explain. Thought gives the inputs. So we apply some other thing also to become an expert. When we were taught the alphabets, the conjugation of verb, the grammar, then later on there is an unknowingly, there is an inner urge in us to convey the feelings through thoughts. But the basic starting point is the feeling. We are not aware of this. So we think that the thought has given us. We write, no doubt. The absorption or the assimilated theme, absorbed theme comes out through the words. Words are nothing but the expression of thoughts. So when the thought takes up the driving seat to move towards the goal of realizing Him, it forgets that even the urge to know Him and the very thought are caused by Him only, and therefore the goal itself is both the starting and the finishing point of this journey. In Tamil, there is a beautiful bhajan. இருக்கும் இடத்தை விட்டு இல்லாத இடம் தேடி எங்கெங்கோ அலைகிறாய் ஞானத்தங்கமே. இருக்கும் இடத்தை விட்டு. The seat of knowledge we have forgotten and we are searching for the knowledge outside. Suddenly we realize this. Oh, we thought, we have to study this, we have to do that, everything is okay. But ultimately it should zero to knowing from where all these things come. We are trying to put it in so many words, we don't know whether it is becoming clearer and clearer. So when the thought takes up the driving seat to move towards the goal of realizing Him, it forgets that even the urge to know Him and the very thought, they are caused by Him only, and therefore the goal itself is both the starting and finishing point. That means the assertive thought, which presumes that it can independently trace the way and reach the goal, pleads its inability to move further. It goes on knocking all the doors and finds no. As devotees of Papa, you must have definitely heard the word Kaladi. A beautiful video was also brought.
Call on the Lord.
I wanted them to fill up. Immediately busted out. Call on the Lord. How to find this? No? It is there.
F, control.
No.
Control.
Call on the Lord.
How to find call on the Lord? Okay, to go there.
Control. Search.
Call.
If you put on, it won't come.
Why?
Is there any other method?
Why won't it come from you?
Call on the Lord with all the love of your heart. Concentrate all your longing in that call, no? Not words, not thoughts. No, longing. And you may be sure that God will respond. Thus it was his great devotees of the past and present entitled themselves to his infinite grace. The language of love is simply irresistible. Just as the child by its lisping talks charms and captures the heart of the mother, so the true devotee by his frank and plaintive words of love draws towards him the almighty beloved of his heart. The language of the devotee is the expression of his pure and aspiring heart. The language of the devotee, not this English language or words or thoughts. The language of the devotee is the expression of his pure and aspiring heart. Heart is the veena, and devotion the fingers that play upon it to infuse a magic spell in the call for the beloved. Papa's expressions, Papa. Heart is the veena, and devotion the fingers that play upon it to infuse a magic spell in the call for the beloved. Hence, the devotee employs sweet music for his appeals and prayers to God. He cries and weeps for him, extols and glorifies him, talks and holds communion with him in the rhythmic language of love. He sings and dances when he has found his beloved. The music of divine symphony thrills his entire frame. Ecstasy or inexpressible joy rises in waves in his heart. Love overflows in tears through his eyes. Purity, peace and light permeate his entire being. This is the culmination of his utter devotion and self-surrender. He places his entire life, soul and body at the feet of the beloved. How does the devotee attain to this exalted state of perfect union with the Lord of his heart? It is clear that he adopts music as the means by which he tunes his heart with the heart of the Lord. A heart that is filled with love, selfless and radiant, alone raises a human being to the feet of the Almighty. Such a love sings like the nightingale, gives out perfume like the rose, beautifies life in all its aspects, brings the devotee in intimate touch and eternal fellowship with the Lord. Therefore, call on the Lord with all your heart, and he is sure to respond. Make him the sole beloved of your life. He is sure to be yours. Pray to him, sing of him, dedicate yourself to him, and he will grant you absolute peace and bliss. Nay, he will reveal himself in your heart, absorb you into his transcendental being. Become one with him, and thus make you realize that you are the very embodiment of his own cosmic peace and joy. He will then give you the vision of beholding him everywhere. You will behold your own supreme self manifested as the entire universe. Love is your way, love is your goal. Call on the Lord. Have you found anything sweeter than his name, more charming than the sound of his name? If you have real love for the Lord, you will reply, certainly I have not. Then there is no need for anybody to tell you that you should sing on his name and be inebriated with the divine ecstasy associated with it. You will find your life has changed into a song of eternity. Who would adequately describe the words, the wonderful glory of the beloved name? He who has tasted alone knows what it is like. Oh, taste it. Let the name illumine your heart and intellect and fill you with floods of joy. Sing on his name with all love and devotion. Embrace the beloved in the recesses of your heart. What blessedness then is yours. Can you now behold such a precious possession in comparison with all the riches of the world. Name, fame, wealth in this evanescent world are nothing to you when your heart has once drunk the nectar of the beloved's name. Therefore, sing on his name with one-pointed devotion. The beloved awaits you. You have only to take his name. He runs to you. How simple it is, yet how difficult for many whose love for the beloved is not as intense as their attachment to the perishable baubles of the world. Direct your thought within. Listen to the call of your own voice, and the responsive word of the beloved will come to you, and you will discover that he is within you. The beloved is the heart of his devotee. Mingle your life in the ocean of his existence. Expand your heart to meet the infinity of his love. Widen your vision so that you may be bathed in his light, power and glory. Now you have become the beloved's beloved. Now you are one with him. Oh, the power and greatness of the call. Call on him, sing of him, and be ever blessed. This is the combination of bhakti and jnana. Now we are reading, the revelation that welled up in his heart. When we read that, there is an inexplicable feeling welling up in our heart, isn't it? Which we can't explain. So we know now the role of expressions, words. Though this is past expression, this is beyond expression. But they do have a role. But after reading this, again, even if I read 100 times, it will be like this. But when I read once or twice, and when I try to go within, with the theme contained there, the result will be something different. Initially, we need the help of jnana. That is why he said jnana as the background. Along with Nama chanting, Papa was also reading serious texts like Yoga Vasishta, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Light of Asia, New Testament, Vivekananda's works, Swami Ramtirtha's work. And as explained in the passage to divinity, it was not the usual reading. It sinks into in his heart. And you are simultaneously going on. Not otherwise, we will come to that. When we only exclusively take to this path of this thing, there may be at a moment, there may be few people who have scaled the heights with that. But by and large, we find, in our own case, we find there is a spiritual dryness and heaviness. So there we try to combine Parabhakti, That is why Papa beautifully mentioned, we start with Bhakti. It may be to a person, to a deity, to a form. We start with that. And then we move. The more we start enjoying it, we slowly try to reseed ourselves from the externals to the internal. That is called Vairagya, trunk. And then jnana. Jnana has a crucial role to play. That is the flower. And then ultimately, it ends in Parabhakti. So combination. We try to see now, path of knowledge and path of bhakti are not different. It has to go simultaneously, we find that. For people like us, again we make it very clear. If we are entirely in that bhakti, we have seen, they don't ask these questions. We belong to that category where questions are there, satsang is there, Nama chanting is there. Every now and then we try to go through. Papa has written about 30 to 35, Papa's teachings are available in 30 to 35 or 40 books. Why? Because our generation needs this. Whereas Bhaktotamas like Nandanar, Tukaram, Namdev, Mirabai, Purandradas, in Kerala, Kururama, Pundanam Nambu, all those, they did not discuss. They were full of knowledge when they had this bhakti came. That category we are, where there was no question. No? The very fact that we are all sitting here and reading and hearing it, because if that has come, we will not be here. We don't need anything from outside. To us, it is only bhakti and bhakti alone. So we should not confuse this. We have not reached that stage, or God has not put us in that stage. Then we want only that, means we cannot. That is why Papa is giving us a different methodology. Combining both. And in bhakti, first it starts with the moment we hear the word bhakti, first our thought goes to a deity or to a guru. We find joy in it. The guru or the deity has touched and kindled something in us, devotion in us. That is why in their presence, when we go to temple, when we perform some puja there, we get a satisfaction, no? Because everybody, especially in India, in every main temple you will find thousands and thousands of devotees going there, waiting, spending a lot of money, time, standing in the queue to have the darshan of the murti, hardly for a minute or 2 or 3, because of the rush. For that only they go. You might be knowing in Guruvayur temple, there is a offering called Udayastamana Puja. That means from morning, Udayam means morning, Astamana. All the pujas, there is a fixed amount for that. Many years back, when somebody said that today is my Udayastamana Puja, when did you book? He said 5 years back. So how God keeps the tempo alive, So when it might be now 10 years, we don't know. So when you say, I would like to offer Udayastamana Puja, you can find out from how many Udayastamana Puja, when should I book? Then you will find, that shows, the devotion of the devotee. Udaya Astamana Puja. In Guruvayur. Now it must be online booking. God has brought all these mechanisms. So you see, when we book, that means our mind is associating with it. And we plan, after 5 years I have got Udayastamana Puja. That is the only tangible gain, because when you go there, terrible rush. Not that the only man, he will be given a prasad, that's all. How many years?
Yeah, literally his rice selling a day before the supposed to commences, previous evening, it cost $3,500.
That's okay. I'm not talking about money. when does one get allotted?
Here, that is yet to be gone down. It's going to go further down.
Please contact the temple for booking the puja. You just put.
Yes, sir.
Then you will know.
Yes, sir.
Because you will get stunned. We are talking about many years back. At that time it was 5 years. because you don't get the booking. So what we mean is the bhakti, we are trying to understand. There is an inner urge in us to offer the puja to him. So everything is centered on a deity. That is how we start. And later on we try to go through the biographies of the bhaktas. And then we find, even sitting in your place, you remember about Guru Ayyappan, you get the thrill. Slowly we try. So there, and they enjoy in their own way. But we people who are involved and we have bhakti also, but we start thinking, Guru Ayyappan stands for what? Anybody who approaches can see him. Anything that is offered is taken back by us only. He remained there, untouched, unaffected. And where from that idol has come? The idol has come only from a granite, a human being like us.
They don't give a commitment to it. Offering the Udayasam and Puja is one of the most popular favorites here. You have to contact them and whenever available dates.
Whenever available. That's what he says, no? Anyway, we'll try to. So the thing, it should be the case of everybody, everywhere. Now they have made so many arrangements for senior citizens, because when you stand there for hours together, you can't stand nowadays. And previously we all had easy access. We have gone to the same Guruvayur temple when for the morning puja, morning and opening of the door, we will be hardly about 100 or 200 people. We are talking in 60s. We go from Madras straight to Trichur, and by Cochin Express, and from Cochin Trichur by bus, and we reach there, no room. There is a chowdhury there. So we pay 1 rupee, we get a locker and a mat, keep everything, go to the temple tank, have our bath, rush up to the temple. And early morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock, we go there, Nirmalya Darshanam. And at that time, hardly about 100 people will be there at that time. Because we all could go, you could stand before there is a corridor. And then as soon as it is open, we all go there. We stand there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Again, suppose the rush is there, the person will say, you go and again, you can come back again. So we go and do the prasarana again and we stand there. Oh, that was those days. So now when we sit and after these long decades, when we sit and think about it, we know what prompted us to take all the pains to go to Guruvayur from Chennai. A lot of effort is necessary, money is to be spent, because we don't have much leave. But still the priority is there. No? We are trying to understand bhakti, What is it that forces us? Our devotion to the Lord embodied as Guru Ayyappan. Later on, when we started associating with the various words of wisdom of so many saints, then we come to know, yes, Guru Ayyappan is within us. Guru Ayyappan is there. We get joy when we go there. We get joy when we remember him here also. Today we are explaining about everything, because we are reliving those moments. So with all these, God is making us aware of what bhakti is. It can't be explained further. That is why Papa has beautifully brought that article. What is that article?
How long is
I think I have to paste your mouth.
Swamiji is asking for
So in the again it has gone. In the call and call, I think today we will again read that. Oh, already 4:30. I thought once more we will read that very inspiring article of Papa. How to become one with him through bhakti, Beautifully explained. But in the process, we forget that we are enjoying, we are trying to get some light about bhakti through a writing, through a revelation. Not through anything. This revelation is a part of our knowledge, He has put it in words, what he experienced. And because it came from the seat of experience, it still thrills us. Call on the Lord. Those who are interested, you can go to YouTube, put this word call on the Lord, Anandashram, then you will find there is a small 5-minute or 3, we don't remember, video, call on the Lord. Can we get it now? Huh? Net is there. But we can't believe you people. You will suddenly say it is not there.
YouTube. Problem.
Plain a voice on a level of life.
Will you scroll past God?
Call on the Lord, Anandashram.
Yeah. You can show this?
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Open here.
YouTube.
Call on the Lord.
There also YouTube.
Ayo.
From Pampa. Sorry. Yes, yes.
6 years ago we have put.
Oh, you got it.
Got it?
No, it's coming. Sorry. YouTube is opening. Why is it opening? You don't need to open YouTube. No.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Our scriptures and Mahatmas.
1 second. We should share screen.
They can see?
Pause it. Share screen.
Our scriptures and Mahatmas, including beloved Papa, keep on emphasizing that we, the spiritual aspirants, should know at the very start that the God that we seek is within us and that all our spiritual disciplines should be channelized on this direction.
Coming?
Though intellectually we learn, keep on emphasizing that we,
Okay.
the spiritual aspirants, should know at the very start
Can you hear?
that the God that we seek is within us and that all our spiritual
The mic is
should be
closed.
channelized.
Mic is-
Someone said yes. Okay.
Mic is on only.
Yeah, all of them.
Intellectually we learn
They are able to hear.
that it is He who is behind every thought, word and action on the individual level. and on the cosmic level, in Him alone everything exists. Still, the sense of individuality in us unknowingly refuses to accept the same experientially. That is why, in spite of one's involvement in various disciplines, even for a long time, God still remains as a concept and not as a reality. So here comes the need for a technique that will, accommodating our abodification, take us all forward. So it is suggested that with this background, an effort has to be made by all of us to feel that by prayer, satsang, and such other various disciplines, we are almost near to the door of the inner chamber within us, where the Lord resides, but at the same time, unable to open the door and see. At this juncture, our outer Guru comes and says, call on the Lord, and asks us to knock the door in the form of chanting His name intensely, with total faith and devotion, and assures us that the door will surely open, and then He will absorb us unto Him and make us realize that we have no individual existence apart from Him. Symbolically, therefore, let us all close our eyes and feel that we stand before the door of our inner chamber and then hear the Guru's words, call on the Lord. He says, the Beloved awaits you. You have only to take His name and He runs to you. Call on the Lord with all your heart. He is sure to respond. Make Him the sole beloved of your life, and He is sure to be yours. Pray to Him, sing of Him, dedicate yourself to Him, and He will grant you absolute peace and bliss. Nay, He will reveal Himself in your heart and absorb you into His transcendent being, and thus make you realize that you are the very embodiment of His own cosmic peace and joy. He will then give you the vision of beholding Him everywhere. That is, you will behold your own Supreme Self manifested as the entire universe. Love is your way, love is your goal. Direct your thought with Him and listen to the call of your own voice. This is very important. Direct your thought with Him and listen to the call of your own voice, and the responsive word of the Beloved will come to you, and you will discover that He is within you. Verily, the Beloved is in the heart of His devotee. Mingle your life in the ocean of His existence. Expand your heart to meet the infinity of His love. Widen your vision so that you may be bathed in His light, power, and joy. Now you have become the Beloved's beloved. Now you are one with Him. Oh, the power and greatness of the call. Call on Him, sing of Him, and be ever present. Thus, with an attitude of self-surrender, plead and appeal for making the door open through chanting devotionally charged Ramnam.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
Ram, Jai Ram.
Remember him. And he shouts from within, though I am here.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji. Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Pranam Swamiji. Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranams to everyone. Close this.
Pranam Swamiji. Namaskaram Swamiji.
Namaskaram Swamiji.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Shari.
Swamiji, this video is a potent medicine.
It is a medicine, it seems.
Yeah.
Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami.
Close this.
It's a potent medicine.
I'll bring it a little closer.
Every now and then we go through that, we get more and more. See, when we travel, the clarity will come to us.
Close it.
Previously, when we were seeing it, we may develop some positive emotion. Now it will be a little more positive. Because he is slowly infusing into us the needed mindset to feel his presence. So the question is how to become one with him. No? So we are trying to understand we are trying to get an answer to this through Papa's own teachings, where he has combined bhakti and jnana. But bhakti is the root. Parabhakti is the fruit. In between there are so many things like vairagya and jnana. So this, we pray to him. You have supplied all these details. Enable me to feel your presence.
Swamiji, Papa also said, Mirna Ruchi Hoi Prabhu Sakana.
Milanyagati Prabhuji.
Millennia. That's what I mean. That is the Millennia Prabhu Guruji. We can interpret it as the path of knowledge, path of bhakti. You know? Because where there is no distinction between the sadhaka and the sadhya. Nabhed. So we can take it as the individual self merging in the cosmic self, or the bhakta merging in the Bhagavan. No? Because Papa has simultaneously has experienced this. He has been trying to bring in the two dimensions together. You will remember his words, ceaseless chanting of his name, coupled with contemplating and meditating upon the various attributes of the Lord. These two, you know. So that he is all-pervading, he is eternal, he is omnipotent, he is omniscient, like that. No? So the Jnana Marga as well as the Bhakti Marga. There was a healthy, happy, harmonious blending of both. And that is how he scaled the heights and he places before us. He never said that this should be done by you. Each one of us has got the freedom to choose. But being the spiritual children of Papa, we are trying to get as many light as possible through his words of wisdom. Ultimately, it has to come in our own way. And the language you have to talk to him, it should be in our own, not the language of even Papa. That will give us some guidance, that's all. Ultimately, we prepare the equipment to talk to him in our own language. We will employ our own unique method. But to reach that stage, all these requisites are highlighted, that's all. More of it tomorrow we'll dwell upon it. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam.
Hari Om, tone and down.
Hari Om to one and all.
Pranam.